Hey guys, it is Brido here. I've got a GM connected video for you. This is for anybody that is in the Royal Hockey League and also for fans of it as well, but specifically for people that are part of the league. I'm saying this out as kind of a bit of a video notice to everybody, just because it's a little bit easier to do this than to actually write in the very small comments in the league section. I wanted to talk a little bit about the do not finish percentages here and it being a little bit of an issue for the league. Now, GM Connected has its issues. Its loading screens are slow. It's really hard to get around because of that. Also, sometimes games don't always work out the way you want them to. Trades cannot always be the best way. You might actually get a trade done. It might not go through for whatever reason. There's issues with it from time to time, and it's really kind of, as people have said, sometimes can be considered a bit of a beta for the actual league and what it should be in the future. These are issues that are frustrating, but stuff you can kind of brush off because you know that this is something relatively new to NHL 13, and it's a lot of fun to play with your friends and play with people in a GM environment, because up until this point we've never been able to do that, and at points I've been frustrated with the load times and whatnot, but I'm like, hey, this is still fun, I still enjoy doing this, and I've been able to brush off some of the issues I've had with GM Connected. But the reason why I made this video is that we kind of crossed the line on one of these, though, into an area where I'm a little bit frustrated overall, and I wanted to make a video regarding it. And it came to my attention thanks to one of the GMs in the league, and it's the do not finish percentages for each team versus the CPU and the players. Now, essentially, this is just a percentage for both your CPU games and your player games, showing how many games you quit out of when you're playing. The big issue I have is the CPU ones, not so much the player ones, because when you're playing against player versus player, there's, obviously times when you're playing online, you're going to lose your connection. That's going to be always an issue. I played New Jersey today. They're from the Czech Republic, the new GM there, and we were playing the game, started the game up, extremely laggy, could barely move and whatnot. A couple minutes into the game, the connection breaks, and we just decided at that point that we weren't going to play the game. And that's obviously an issue in itself that I got to kind of maybe monitor where people are playing from, because not necessarily that I don't want to keep certain people out, but I want to keep the experience good, keep our games fun and not laggy and whatnot when we're playing online. That's for another time, obviously. So when it comes to the player versus player scenarios, there really isn't that big of an issue that I have with the percentages. I do have issues when you do deliberately quit out of a game. In that case, though, there's always someone else playing that game too, so they can see that. And there's always that responsibility on you as a player to not do that. And if there ever is a situation that someone quits out, then the other GM can obviously just contact me on PSN and we can deal with it that way. But my issue that I have is with the games people play against the CPU. Now, even though these games are against the CPU, you're still playing online, so there is that small chance you might lose your connection, but it's only due to your connection and not anybody else's. So there is a chance of it, but it is a slighter chance. So there's obviously room for people to miss some of their games, have a small percentage on there. But for some of these people on here, we got 67% for Philadelphia, 50 for Ottawa, and 53 for Edmonton. There's also 32 for Detroit. These are pretty high numbers for people to quit out of their games. Now, I'm not 100% sure these are 100% accurate. I can give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that, but still some of these numbers are a little bit too high for my liking, especially with the fact that we want everybody to be on a level playing field when they play these games. So with that said, going forward, I'm going to be recording each advancing period where people's percentages are for their do not finish markers. This season it's going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to look to see if people's are going down, if they're going up, and kind of monitor it regarding that. But for the future, for season 2, I'm going to set a marker at around 15 or 20%, where it's fine if you're below that number. Obviously, if you go above that number, I'm going to have to talk to you. We can have a discussion why whatever reason did happen. And this is going to have to be, unfortunately, something that I'm going to have to start monitoring so that everybody is on the same playing field, because as unfortunate it is, there's no real way, I guess, for NHL 13 to deal with this, and it's going to have to be something, as a commissioner, I'm going to have to go through when I'm going to be advancing each period from now on. If you got any questions regarding this, feel free to message me either on PSN or on my YouTube. I'm completely fine to, give a little bit more light to the situation if you don't completely understand what I'm saying. But hopefully this is something that we can work on, that we can be a little bit more honest with our games, and everybody can be on that same playing field, because I've had my times when I've played my games against the CPU, especially right now. I've had a terrible go with my last little group of games where I'd love to, break out of my game to not play my game, but I've stuck through those losses and whatnot, and it'd just be awesome if everybody was on the same playing field. So going forward, hopefully we can all try and do the best we can to play all our games against the CPU. And if you have any issues against players when you're playing online, you can totally let me know in the messages. We can work that out as well. Just to clarify as well, I will not be kicking anybody with high percentages at this point, but if it does become a persistent issue of someone, I will message them, I'll give them a warning, and if that does not work, then we will have to kick that person, unfortunately. But I'll let everybody know, even in the messages as well, that this is an issue that they got to work on, and hopefully we can move towards making this better for future seasons and future games as well. Thanks guys for watching.